Imagine if it was Indiana State, Michigan State playing in the first four. You know, a rematch of the.
It'd be fabulous.
They played this season for the first time since they met in I don't. Oh wait, no, hold on. For the first time since.
Hey, a random thing. The other day, like one of the local rock stations in Memphis, like posted on Facebook, just very quickly, posted on Facebook. Hey, it's just one of those things where you're trying to get engagement, you know, and it's like, hey, what's the worst concert you've ever been to? And like the overwhelming majority of answers from Memphians was Smashing Pumpkins. They were like, Billy Corgan came out and he said, this crowd sucked. And he was just like, it was apparently like the worst, awful. The mix was bad. I just had no idea that Memphians hate Smashing Pumpkins.
Neither did I, but good to know. 1979, Michigan State played Indiana State. They had not played each other since until literally this season. Michigan State won. They wouldn't put them in a rematch in the first four, but if they could somehow make that,
what do you mean they wouldn't?
Now they non-conference opponents. They aren't going to. If they could, and it was the bracket principles.
Is there a principle against that?
In the other game versus they wouldn't have.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, just send them both to the first four. It's fine with me.
That would be something. Okay, let's do good bubble, and there's not a lot. In fact, I only have 2 good bubble results from the entire weekend. And it's Wake Forest getting the job done over Clemson, 81-76, get to 19-12. The problem for Wake is this, and we are going to, if you're watching on YouTube, we're going to show you the league brackets here in a few minutes. Wake Forest has to play the Notre Dame Georgia Tech winner, which does nothing for you. And then it plays Pitt, which will get a little for you, but I don't know if it's enough. So the question will become with Wake is, would the 2 wins be enough? Because a third against Carolina would definitely be enough. Very, very tricky team there. We'll see. The other bubble winner is Colorado, which won at Oregon State, so it sweeps the Oregon trip. And if it's going to Dayton still, I think it's got the best resume of any team that's still going to Dayton. It's on a 6-game win streak and is the 3 seed in the Pac-12 tournament. Parrish, those are the only 2 good bubble results, unless you're about to give me someone else that I completely missed from the weekend.
No, I mean, Colorado's obviously playing really well right now. Like you mentioned, 6 straight wins. I think Jerry Palm had them in on Sunday morning.
Yeah, they were in. They were in after he had them in after they won against Oregon, and then they just didn't slip up.
Yeah, and then they go win 73-57 over Oregon State. I think they're going to get there. I think at the very least, the Pac-12 is going to have 3 with Arizona, Washington State, and I think Colorado's going to join them.
I agree. We got a lot of bubble losers here. I'll roll through all of them. Take it where you want after, but let me just let me tour around because there is a ton. Okay, Indiana beats Michigan State by 1 point on Sunday on CBS. Sparty is 18-13, probably 10 seed material at best, but Michigan State, you're testing our patience. And in fact, it was a weird thing with Indiana State not getting in today and then Michigan State like losing again. People saying, I don't want to see these 13-14 lost high major teams in the tournament, and then invoking the 79 game, obviously. Iowa had its chance, and it got down like 23-5 at home against Illinois, lost 73-61. Hawkeyes weren't in the field. Now they're even further behind. They got a lot coming to them. Now let's go to what happened on Saturday. Creighton wins 69-67 at Nova. Dude, the game was like 28-3. Nova came back. Trey Alexander hit a game-winning shot with 0.2 seconds remaining. Villanova's got to win at least 2 in the Garden. I said this on HQ. If you aren't aware, if you're trying to keep a track of this bubble thing, here's the deal with Nova right now. Nova is a 17-14 team. Loss volume and win total has to matter. The record is 15 losses for any at-large team ever. Trivia time. Give me one of them. You got it, GP?
Georgia
might be the worst win percentage. You might be right. Vandy had 15. I'll look Georgia right now because I don't want to keep moving on here. Hold on 1 second. Georgia.
The Dennis Felton team that won the SEC tournament.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Oh, but that's but you're talking. Oh, yeah. You're talking at large.
I'm talking at large.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
In as a 14-loss team in 01. So 15 was Vandy, and there's another one that I'm not recalling.
That's what I was thinking of.
My point is this. Nova fans, I know you got to win games. I almost wonder if you got to make the Big East title game. So keep that in mind. You had a chance on your home floor, and you made a big push. It wasn't enough. Providence also gets out to – it was the inverse, man. Providence is up big on UConn early. UConn comes back, storms. I mean, forget about it. Providence led 15-2. UConn win on a 40-9 run to end the first half, man. Just outrageous. 74-60. Providence is way off. It's going to need to get to the Big East title game minimally. We'll see you there. Couple teams that I think are going to get in, but took losses, and their footing isn't that solid. So the seeding situation could be tricky. TCU loses at home to UCF by 2.
That was dumb.
TCU is 7-11 in the top 2 quadrants. It has a 323 non-con strength of schedule. That is atrocious. Now, this was the first loss it had all season outside of quad 1, but you want to talk about a team that's getting all these Q1 opportunities and failing time and time and time again. I think it was 2-10 in quad 1 before the net refreshed overnight, so it actually gained 2 wins, but I'd be... don't lose a game in the Big 12 tournament. That's all I'm saying. Oklahoma probably going to make it, but it lost against Texas there. Oklahoma's lost 5 of his past 7 games. And it also, the resume is not super inspiring. So losses there, a couple more than it's all UGP. Mississippi State's another team from a high major. Let's maybe just stop, take a look around, and check under the hood here. 4-game losing streak. Mississippi State right now, I had it before. Let me bring this up. Mississippi State's resume is right now, because it's right around TCU and Oklahoma in the net rankings. All right, it's 4-8 in Q1, 3-3 in Q2. So we have another team that is multiple games under 500 in the top 2 quadrants, 7-11, and it has a Q4 loss, does Mississippi State. You had a big opportunity here to for sure lock it up. You missed your chance there. Don't lose a game in the SEC tournament. New Mexico could not get it done against Utah State. Lobos right on the cut line there. Between this and Boise State, every damn night with this league, I can't get enough of it. Utah State wins the Mountain West outright for the first time in program history in Danny Sprinkle's first year. Darius Brown was awesome. He hit the 3 that got him the lead with 5 seconds to go. That was awesome stuff from Darius Brown. But New Mexico could not pull it out on the road. Little weird situation at the end where Jalen House tried to miss a foul shot intentionally, didn't hit the rim. They wouldn't have gotten the ball anyway, but students were on the floor before time was over, and here we go again. And then Utah got swept in the Oregon trip. Get them out of here. South Florida lost to Tulsa. No at-large case. Get them out of here. Those are your bubble losers. What are your takeaways?
We were out of town this weekend and settled in, and the kid falls asleep, and it's like, all right, Utah State, New Mexico, like let's settle in on this one. What a fabulous basketball game that was. Just the crowd, the scene, everything. The playmaking, the shot making down the stretch. Like if you were trying to make a commercial to be like, hey, these guys on the podcast aren't crazy. The Mountain West really is fun this year. Like that's just use that game. It was awesome.
As coincidence would have it, the Mountain West having a great season will be the lead item of Tuesday's Court Report, the final one of the season. So yes.
How about that? How about that? Can't wait for that.
There we go.
Can't wait for that. And so, ultimately, I think the National Coach of the Year thing is going to come down to Kelvin, Matt, Dan, and you could honestly vote them in any order. It's totally reasonable. But
Kelvin, Matt, Dan. You mean Kelvin, Dan, Danny? Or Kelvin, Danny, Danny?
No, I think it's Kelvin Sampson, Matt Painter, and Dan Hurley. And I really don't know how you pick between them.
Okay.
You don't think those 3 should be 1, 2, and 3 in some order? I mean, they have been excellent and separated from the rest of the sport.
They're there. Danny Sprinkle took over a program without a returning player and just won the Mountain West that is going to send at least 5 to the tournament. He is at the table with them, in my opinion.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Champions of the Mountain West, and that league is that league could send more teams to the tournament than Danny Hurley's league. So I would put him there. Yeah,
totally fair. Okay, I'll do that. And then the other one I would put in there is Amir Abdur-Rahim at South Florida. I just throw him in there as a conference champion. You're never supposed to be a conference champion at South Florida. I mean, I say this respectfully, but like that's never supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. And he's responsible for that. So those 5. Those are if I had to put a 5-person ballot together right now, that would be my 5. And Danny, I guess this was my point. Danny would definitely be on that list of 5. He's been awesome, and sounds like he might have some big decisions to make soon.
Yeah, he's a rumored candidate for Washington. We'll see if that comes to pass. His dad played football there. Keep that in mind. Before we take the break, and we need to take our break here, just with all the teams I mentioned right now, like around the cut line, I think you've got Mississippi State, Seton Hall, Virginia. Actually, if you want to say Virginia was on the bubble, they actually got a win. So I didn't include them as a winner before. So they're worthy of inclusion. St. John's, they got a win, but they beat Georgetown. What do you want from me? Indiana State, New Mexico, Nova on the other side of it, Providence on the other side of it. Again, this will get more clarity later into the week, but at least I wanted to touch on a lot of those bubble results.